Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And welcome back, everybody. This thing called energy can change your life once you harness the power of it and work with somebody who truly understands it. I found him. He's here. He's got your prescription, your daily prescription for improving your life. And he runs deep in the pharmaceutical world. So he's got an understanding of physiology and compounds and such, but he also understands energy and can help pilot your life in many different directions based on that. We're going to kind of break this energy thing down today with Dr. Dante Carroll, who is back on the program. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you, Steve?
Real good, real good. And, you know, in my journey, I was aware of this energy thing. I worked with a lot of intuitive people back in the day. So it was on my radar, but I never really connected the dots in terms of how it would work. I would hear this term called Reiki, energy healing, chakras. And I would hear these words, but I wasn't really sure what they did until about 5 years ago when I started piecing it together. And then for me, it was like, oh, that came clear. Oh, let me learn a little bit more. Oh, and would you say that's you, once you got hooked on understanding this energy thing, that you had a thirst to learn more?
Yeah. Once I even first began my first Reiki 1 class, what is just talking about just the sensing of it, just rubbing your hands together, just feeling the static motion in your hand, it kind of questions like where this coming from, right? And me being a pharmacist, me being a researcher, I just dove into the details and just wanted to explore it more. I love crystals, I love energy, I love being outside in nature, and it just wanted me to explore energy even more. And just being around it is fun and exciting.
You've given that example before of rubbing hands together. Tell me about that again. And for somebody that's in their head, like you say, you feel heat when you do that. How do you get out of your head? You know, somebody may say, well, of course, there's some friction between my hands, and that's why there's heat there. There's more going on energetically. Can we look at that?
Yeah. So the first part, when you're rubbing your hands together, right, we're energetic beings, we're energy. That's causing friction. So when you're first dealing with energy, and especially with Reiki, you're looking at, hey, what is this static? What is this energy? What is this going on? We're energetic beings at the end of the day, and it's just reintroducing you back to who you are as a person. You're energetic beings at the end of the day. Now, when you're dealing with, feeling stuck or trying to get out your head, that's literally, in my research and my experience with Reiki or just energy in general, it's just stagnant energy just stuck in your head. Imagine you're trying to clean out a pipe and it's just that stuck, stagnant, clogged mess that's in those pipes. It's the exact same thing with energy. And just, having daily practices of just being outside of nature, being and getting tied to your just energy work will help clear out that energy and help become stagnant and help you make more positive decisions in the future.
What was the first time, Dante, that it came clear for you about this whole energy thing?
For me, when I was going through my whole spiritual journey, I was just trying to find answers. And, when I first took my first Reiki class, I just felt a sense of home. Like I felt peaceful. I felt like I was supposed to be there. And the energy was just aligned with me. I didn't feel like the chaotic world, like I felt like I was in traffic or just anything going chaotic. I was in my Reiki class. I sat there and I just felt peaceful. And it's just like, hey, this is what I'm supposed to
do. The whole grounding thing intrigues me. And I went away. I might have shared with you for a few days and just would by a beach and everything. When I first got there, I just left work and your mind is scattered all over the place and you haven't just settled down. And I thought it was I just need a little bit of time just to settle in. But then I got the aha. Oh no, you are now fully grounded. That's what's actually going on. What is grounding? How do you explain it?
So grounding is basically just stillness, right? We're always just running in this direction. I have to get this done for my boss. I have to get done for my family member, etc. You haven't had time to just sit with yourself. We kind of feel guilty of just well, if I feel bad, if I take 10 or 15 minutes to myself, why, right? So when you finally get to that grounded state, it's kind of Now I can see what's going on from my perspective, and I can see things clearly now. It's just a matter of just taking things slowly and just saying, hey, let me step back. Let me see why my life is going so chaotic, and kind of look at it like, playing football like a quarterback. You're like, hey, okay, this is going on in this environment. This is what's going on. Let's address it. And then you come back to yourself and then you address those issues going forward.
This coming from someone who meditates for an hour every day. And I've shared that with so many. I'm envious that you do that and can do that. I'm working my way up. It's a slow roll. But you told me previously that your day is not off to a good start unless you meditate for an hour. Would you say every single day you are doing it?
Every single day. Like, Steve, if I don't do it, my day is just chaotic. I don't feel like self, right? And for me, I like to study ancient history, and it literally just goes back to the chakra system. It literally just deals with controlling your emotions. Can you control that anger? Control feeling upset. It's just a matter of when you get upset, just go into meditation and just be at your high self. That's about it. Just control it and then let it go. It's just emotions. Once you get it out your system, you're just like, why was I mad 10 minutes ago? Because it was just emotions and energy that was stuck in you, and that's it.
Ooh, really great point. Emotions.
Yeah.
They are energy, correct?
Yes, they are energy, and they follow what's known on the root chakra, which that deals with your anger, your emotions of why am I feeling this way? So when you're feeling chaotic, it's just that's blocked up, that's stagnant, and you just have to get grounded or get by the water and just flush it out.
So why is it nature or trees or those kinds of things that make such a difference for grounding? Why can't we just walk into the living room and be grounded? Or can we?
Yeah. The reason why nature pretty much is like the purest form of energy, right? That's 100% clean and just a nice environment. When you go into the environment, your energy is just clear, it's becoming pure, and you're not feeling as much emotions as you were in the beginning. Now, when your living room, you have the TV, you have all this different type of energy coming from the microwave, coming from the everywhere, right? So when that projects onto you, you kind of like, hey, how the energy coming towards me, it's not as clean as nature. And this is why you need to get out of nature at least once a day.
Thank you for saying that, because many of us don't realize it. And now I get it. Growing up as a kid, people would say, well, I'm getting back to nature. And I'm like, all right, so you're walking in the woods. What's the big deal? It's nice. It's peaceful. You hear some birds, some rustling of the leaves, whatever. I didn't get it until now. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's once you experience it and are intentional about it, like realizing what I'm doing. I'm in the woods, even just going for a walk. That is meditation. You might not even realize it, but you could be connecting with yourself, i.e., meditating, and not even really know it, right?
Yeah, you are. Like, it's one of the elements, air, right? They're always telling you, go outside and get a breath of fresh air because it literally clears out your mind. And you're like, you know what? I feel really good. Let me just go around the block and take a walk just to clear out your mind. It's one of the elements. It's air, it's energy, and it clears everything out. Air moves and you just flush it out.
I believe that many of us, because these things are fairly simple,
Yeah.
don't believe it works. Like even breathing techniques. Some will say, oh, I breathe anyway. What's the big deal? No, when you're intentional about the number of breaths in and number out, and really taking a few minutes to deeply breathe. It's like getting grounded, like resetting the reset button you hit on yourself just by even just breathing.
I agree. Just breathing literally would just clear out your whole entire body with just negative energy. The longer you hold it in, you're taking that clear, pure energy around you and you're just flushing out your system. It's just a matter of recognizing when something is going on and not really blocking out because more of it comes in, right? You are what you attract. So if you keep having that negative energy coming towards you, negative thoughts, negative energy, you're going to think that. So it's just good to take time to recognize it, meditate, or even just go outside and get a breath of fresh air to feel better.
When you release those deep breaths, are you also releasing potentially stuck energy?
Yes. When you breathe in, you're taking in good positive energy. Hold for me, I like to hold it in for about 4 seconds and then let it out slowly for about eight. And I can feel my system literally just letting all of the negative emotions, anything that's stagnant. It's just amazing how breathwork works and just it just goes away. It's just something that you can't explain. It just flushes it out.
And those are just simple techniques. Now we take it some steps deeper, working with somebody like yourself, doing Reiki. Why don't let's explain Reiki. We
Yeah.
take it for granted that people know what it is.
Yeah. So Reiki is pretty much it uses the invisible universal God energy around you. It pretty much works on the chakra system, which is a 7 point chakra system, from the root chakra all the way up to the crown chakra. This helps keep you from, feeling stagnant, help kids out like headaches, any pain. It's just energy. And I just use this energetic technique to help flush out energy to help you feel better and to improve wellness.
All right, woo alert. I want to ask this question. Getting a little woo
Sure.
here, but
Yeah.
energetically, do you believe that we are, as we live our lives, we are a product of our thoughts. So where I'm going with that is
Okay.
everything around us, our lives, we created it. We
Mhm.
might not realize it, but energetically, using our mind, it's what's here. It's what we created. Do you
Mhm.
believe that's what's going on?
I do believe at the end of the day that is true. We're all connected to Source. Source is a co-creator. We're meant on this earth to have this human experience and to co-create. So if you're not co-creating or you're having those negative thoughts that you're projecting, you will project that. You're here on this earth to find your purpose and help create it, right? So you have to think positively and you're going to attract positive. You are energy. So positive, you're attracting positive, right? You're attracting negative, that's what you're going to think. So it's always good to keep your thoughts clean, and then always think positive no matter what.
Mm. You know, in that little retreat that I did, it was perfect. It was just exactly what I needed. And then I thought about it. I manifested it. I had the visual. A friend of mine described it, but that's just a description. You can't even. I'm referring to the Airbnb where I went
It's
and
yeah.
everything that laid out. It's exactly what I envisioned. And it can't be a coincidence. And I'm right down to every little piece of the getaway. It's what I envisioned.
Mhm.
It's amazing as I look back at it. No wonder it was so impactful. That's the way it was supposed to be because I created it.
Right. And just to piggyback off you, Steve, like what you tapped into is really the third eye or the middle forehead or the pineal gland. That is where it's pretty much the subconscious mind of you actually going into your deep thought and you manifested it out. For some reason, you might have been thinking really hard and poof, it just came out. So you unconsciously just tapped into your third eye and you saw it and then boom, it manifested. So you actually did manifest it.
I truly believe it. And as a matter of fact, a friend of mine who was at that location for period of time on this island that I went to,
Yeah.
very inexpensive.
Yeah.
A few months before, he was in a different location. And he's like, yeah, come on down. It'll be great. And I went with my intuition and I didn't book a flight. And something was saying, don't do it. Not ready. Don't do it. Not ready. Well, what transpired was he said a few weeks after that, yeah, I'm glad you didn't come down here. We lose power every day for like 6 hours. There's no air conditioning. It's not good, blah, 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 blah. And then he changed location. And then that's where I wound up. And that was perfect. So I listened to what was in and I didn't book it. And I didn't
Right.
know why, but something was saying, nope, nope, don't do it. Don't do it. I don't think that's a coincidence.
Right. You were having this intuitive nudge and you were just going with it. Like, why weren't you trusting yourself? That's the question. It's just like, why are we asking ourselves, if I'm having this, why am I not listening to it? And then 5 minutes later, dang, I should listen to myself. I don't even know why we get that way, Steve.
Does that happen to you a lot?
Yeah, it used to like back in the day when I didn't used to not trust my intuition. Like I always had like this little nudge or something going on, but I just didn't trust it. I didn't know why. And I was just like, what's going on? And then I went on my, spiritual path, went on my journey, and then, started to really get connected to myself and, start getting the, hey, don't make this decision or go with this decision, this door open. And I just been going with it. It's kind of like you got to have like this child, like, appearance when it comes down to having your heart open to leading to you looking to looking to new more doors and opportunities, right? So it's more so like if you see that opportunity, don't necessarily shun it away. Just keep your heart open and just go with it.
It brought back a memory, intuition again. And I have countless examples of back in the day ignoring my intuition and things just didn't go the way they should, even though I knew it was saying, don't do it. I'm like, I'm already deep into this situation now. I'm just going to keep going that way. Fast forward to now, listening to oneself. 8 months ago, I got a phone call and it was a doctor telling me I had stage 3 cancer. And I was like, really? And right away, my intuition said no. Hang up. He calls me back, and it was skin cancer related. He says, yeah, and we see something on your shin, and it looks like it could be stage 3 too. Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm looking down. I'm like, that looks like a pimple to me. This is not going. So I got second opinions. It wasn't stage 3. It wasn't at all. It was, 0 to 1 stage and a little bit of surgery and I was done. I will admit I went down a little bit of rabbit hole wondering but at the entire time, my intuition was saying, nope, no. And I listened to it, got a second opinion. Yeah. Doctor presented and that's the one. And sure enough, and I even said to him, doctor, scale of 1 to 10, 10 being this stage 3. He's like, 1, not even, don't even worry about it. I just say, listen to what's in. You know the answers. It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Exactly. And you just have to trust yourself, Steve. Like you trusted yourself in those moments with the second opinion. And it's okay to go down that rabbit hole to have that initial emotions like, oh, what's going on? It's okay. It's like we don't allow ourselves to grieve and go through those emotions, especially like when men, it's just like keep everything bottled in. No, express that. So you're like, hey, it's a form of cleansing. It's a form of cleansing your energy, right? So you allow yourself to grieve, get through and say, okay, what do I do from that? What I go from here from now? And just have those steps. And that's it. That's all it's about. Just staying positive.
And that what you're bottling up inside that you're referring to is stuck energy, I would assume, right?
Yeah, it literally is because it's just an emotion. Like you said earlier, emotions, energy. And the question is, why are you holding it in? Is it because you don't want to appear to be soft? Is it because you don't look afraid of others, etc.? No, it's about you just expressing yourself. And that's what it's about.
You practice Reiki. Somebody reaches out to you either by your website, calls you. What happens after that?
So pretty much when somebody reaches out to me and they want to set up an initial appointment, a person comes in, we'll fill out a takeout form, we'll do an intake sheet. I would do a little Reiki session to connect with your energy. I would pretty much see what type of ailments or any negative or positive energy that you might have going on. And then we'll go from there and try to assess the initial symptoms that you're coming in for. Maybe it's for knee pain, maybe it's for headache, maybe it's for depression. We'll pretty much just take an overall assessment and go from there.
And it can be done virtually. You just said something that I didn't realize. All right. So somebody comes in and says they're having some chronic pain, knee pain, whatever it may be. Reiki can help with that.
Yes. What I can do is I'll take my hand and I can go over your body and then I can sense ailments or like shallow points where you might need to have that energy needs to go. I can pick up little messages to say, hey, this person has knee pain. Hey, this person might have some, gut issues, etc. So I will just pretty much apply Reiki to that stomach area just to see what's going on. And I'll take like a symptom score before a patient comes, 1 out of 10, to see how you feel, 10 being the highest and 1 being the lowest. And then after Reiki, patients report, hey, the symptoms will feel much more better.
So
it's just that emoji.
It's amazing. This could be a little woo for some, but this is how it works. You can virtually, the other person could be 2,000 miles away, detect, because energy knows no space and time. You can detect in somebody you're working with what they got going on just by, call it, feeling their energy virtually. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah. As long as I have permission to connect with their energy, that's fine. Reiki will allow me to surround like this little bubble. I can enshroud you and I in this same bubble, and I can pick up her energy.
Can you give me an example of somebody that you saw, you worked with, what you were picking up from them, and maybe you reported it back to them, and then they validated it? Like, for example, maybe they didn't reveal that they had knee pain, and maybe you're doing an energy scan and then feeling something. It's like, yeah, how's your knee doing? And maybe you hear them say, yes, I am having some trouble there. Has that ever presented?
Yeah. I was working with a client, and before individuals come to my session, I usually meditate to try to pick up some answers to see kind of what's going on and expectations when the client is going to come in. And I was working with this particular client, and I kept hearing like mom and daughter issues. I was like, okay, all right. So when I came in, my heart started hurting like instantly. I was like, hey, what's going on? Like, are you okay? And then as she was writing down on the intake form, like, hey, I was having issues with my mom. We weren't talking a lot. I was, going through issues. And I was like, oh, wow, it's crazy how I picked up on it. And we were discussing issues of, what was going on. I even used some crystals to help, with some heart therapy to help her feel really good about, coming from an emotional state to, deal with any grief that she was going on, and, try to help with the emotional wellness. And, she came back for energy sessions, and we were just helping her heal that emotional content that she was going through at the time.
Wow. It's fascinating how it works, and it does.
Yeah.
And I completely understand, people might hear this and think that, how is that really going to heal me, make me feel better? It's been around, Reiki, for, recognized well over 100 years. And then there was before that where people were healing using energy techniques, but didn't realize what was, I believe in my studies, realize what was going on. You have a successful pharmaceutical career.
Mhm.
Why'd you also add Reiki to your arsenal of helping people?
For me, like, even becoming a pharmacist, like, I knew about energy, like working with like chlorophyll, photosynthesis, but how does it really relate to the body, right? So when I went through my spiritual awakening, I went through my bad breakup, just trying to find answers. I'm human, I was dating, etc. I'm a human being, right? So my brother, he basically had introduced me to like this intuitive reader. He was basically going through things at the time, and he basically was just like, hey, just go see this person. I was like, all right, let me figure out what's going on. I was grieving at the time, right? So I was like, it wouldn't hurt. Just try something new. Just go see what happens. See, when I got there, my hands started sweating. Like energy just started flowing out my hands. And I was like, what is this? What's going on? I don't know what this is. And then the intuitive reader was like, maybe you should look into Reiki. Just threw a hint. I was like, I don't know what Reiki is. So I Googled it, and I was like, oh, wow, maybe this is something I just wanted to pursue. So I went to Google Reiki centers throughout the area, and then I found a Reiki center in Rockville, Maryland, where I just began my first Reiki class just to figure out things, and then started to rub my hands, and all of a sudden just took it off from there. I fell in love with it. I had my mentor, he's an intuitive reader. He basically said, you were working like with Reiki and crystals in the past life. I was like, oh, wow, this is something that I wanted to do. So being a pharmacist and bringing, a pharmaceutical career side and bringing the energy all into one, it goes in together. My job is to help improve your wellness and improve lives. And I just focus on the energy part. It resonates with me, and I just love to help people with Reiki.
Amazing. And you blend science and spirituality together. And side note, thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah.
Similar. I'm not a Reiki person, master. I just love getting Reiki.
Yeah.
But it began with same thing, a breakup where, you're in an emotional state. What's going on here? You're looking for answers. And
Yeah.
that is also when the answers came for me. Same kind of situation. Wow. Dante, how do we find you? Even if somebody's got a question, just wants to learn more, how do they connect?
Yeah, you can definitely find me at the THE Farm as a pharmacist, PHARMT healer.com.
Super cool. Thank you so much for being here and today breaking down some of the basics of how this works, because it does, and it moves lives forward. I appreciate it. Thanks. Thanks for being here. We'll catch up soon.
Of course, I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her.
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge.
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve! Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend.
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.